Hello, and many thanks for joining us. You're watching News Across Nigeria. I'm Ayotunde Balogun. Coming up on the program, Navy destroys illegal refineries in Rivers State. Joint Admissions and Matriculations Board, JAMB, introduces new guidelines. And Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, seals warehouses in Anambra State. The federal government is pushing for a bill to address food contamination and unwholesome food safety practices through the National Food and Safety Quality Bill. The Minister of State for Health, Dr. Osage Ehanire, at an interministerial committee meeting on food safety in Abuja, notes that 1 in every 10 persons fall ill owing to foodborne diseases, prompting greater determination by the government to regulate food consumption in the country. Meanwhile, the Minister of Agriculture, Chief Audu Ogbe, noted that chairmen of local governments should be educated on the need to enforce safety rules on food consumption.
If you are looking at biological contaminants, mold, bacteria and spores, and also the seeds of worms that people do take in, knowingly, or most of the time unknowingly, but through carelessness in sanitation, in hygiene, and food processing. So if you successfully take care of this, you reduce morbidity, you reduce illnesses, and what you spend on preventing health is much less than what you spend on treating.
If we can avoid people falling sick through the food we eat and how we manage the food, that will be the first and most important step in supporting the health program of the country. So when the Ministry of Health and Ministry of Agriculture get together on this kind of subject, it is because we realize that working together will help us solve a lot of problems. There are other issues we talk about quite often: environmental sanitation, cholera, typhoid, even malaria, things like that, which could be reduced and minimized. A time will come when we may have to call local government chairmen in their zones and states and begin to educate them, because they have responsibilities. They are supposed to do a whole lot of things: clean up their environments, clear garbage, enforce restaurants and places of food sale. Most of these have disappeared, and as a result of that, everything has simply collapsed.
Let's move over now to Ekiti State in Nigeria's southwest region, where the state government there says that it's looking at ways to improving its agriculture. At a meeting with concerned groups, the deputy governor of the state, Mr. Kolakbo Olushola, told journalists that the state wants to ensure that its agriculture produce meets international standard. Mr. Olushola lamented how there are challenges when agricultural produce face rejection at the point of export.
Government at all levels is encouraging diversification, and for a long time we have relied so much on oil, but now the prices of crude oil at the international market is gradually declining. So there is a need for us to go back to where we started from, that is from agriculture. And but if we are going to go into agriculture, then we have to ensure standards. Number one, we have to ensure that we don't produce substandard goods, because we should educate our farmers that they should not just produce for they should not just go into subsistence farming again. We are talking about mechanized farming, large-scale farming, wherein the products can also be exported to other countries.
Well, back in Bauchi State, the state government there also agrees with the government of Ekiti State, still on agriculture, where it has become indeed a major focus for them as it continues the process of diversifying Bauchi State's economy. Now, the deputy governor of the state, Mr. Nuhu Gidada, told the Technical Evaluation Committee of the Federal Project Management that the state wants to take advantage of the huge potential in agriculture. The federal government delegation is in the state to evaluate its readiness to key into the Rural Access Mobility Project of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture in collaboration with the World Bank.
If we have to pull out of the then envisaged and now a reality of economic recession, we definitely must have to diversify and focus attention to what we know best, something that brought us to where we were. That was agriculture. If you don't do that, then certainly this oil business, like some people will say, is a curse rather than a blessing. You will notice that within the last 18 months or even less, the federal administration under General Buhari was able to put in what we thought was going to be a litmus test into agriculture. And between last year and this year, they just said, let's see what we can do about rice. That has been chopping our foreign reserve. I stand to be corrected, but I think, from what I have been monitoring, by the special grace of God, probably at the end of this year, or next year, or before the expiration of this administration, no grain of rice will be imported by Nigeria.
Now, the British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Laura Beefields, has commended the Oyo State government for initiating policies and programs that make it easy to do business in the state. The British envoy was speaking in Abeokuta, the state capital, during a presentation on promoting economic prosperity at the state level in Nigeria. The State Commissioner for Commerce and Industry, Mr. Bimbo Ashiru, however, assured investors of even a better business environment in Oyo State.
Ever since its creation, Oyo State in southwest Nigeria prides itself as an emerging economy, offering countless opportunities to its people, provided the right policies are in place. Presently, the state government says in its bid to making Ogun an investment destination of choice, focus is now on infrastructure development, security, among other things. This has made the state to rank 5th on the ease of doing business in the country by the World Bank in the 2014 ratings.
The feat achieved by the state would not have been possible if not for the commitment of this administration towards improving the ease of doing business. Similarly, the administration's commitment to excellence and continuous improvement through regular consultations with key stakeholders and collaboration of relevant government agencies with private sector that has helped the state improve significantly on all areas necessary.
Chief economist of PricewaterhouseCoopers PwC Nigeria gives an advice to the Nigerian economy and says it has to be grown at 46% rate and investment of $100 billion annually.
We need to grow, the Nigerian economy needs to grow 4 to 6% a year to make any progress. If we're not growing at 4 to 6% a year with our population growth, we are going to have a social catastrophe. So then you ask the question, well, how do you grow? How do you grow 4 to 6%? And there's obviously lots of elements of it. The ease of doing business plays into this. But just mathematically, we have a $350 billion economy.
Giving an assessment of the policies of government in terms of cost and ease of doing business in the state, the British Deputy High Commissioner says that 75% foreign direct investment was attracted to the state in 2015.
We're seeing the result. We're seeing large multinational companies setting up shop here in Ogun. We're starting to see the benefits in terms of jobs. More can be done. Undoubtedly more can be done. Roads are still not as good as they can or should be, and more can be done to attract small and medium enterprises in particular, because we need them and their know-how and their expertise and the partnerships that they can create in order to deliver the sort of growth and jobs that we are looking for.
The state government will do well to ensure that its achievements, especially in the area of industrialization, are sustained, even as economic observers call for more investment in power to ease doing business, not just in Oyo State, but the country as a whole.